see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome, family, friends, staff, and most importantly, the class of 2021. You've made it. Congratulations. It seems obvious to point out the reality that each of these graduates have experienced over these 4 years, and more importantly, over the last year and a half. It seems obvious, but it does demand acknowledgement. You have graduated under unique circumstances. I try in these graduation welcomes to bring attention to the family and community you have surrounding you. But before I do that, I want to take a moment to let everyone who's here know just how gracefully you've dealt with the changes that have defined these past 16 months. Not once this year did this school's staff feel you were anything but patient, helpful, and willing to adjust. This is a testament to who you've become and who raised you. I thank you for making the most of a difficult year. Your class motto captures your response more than most do. The motto goes, when life gives you speed bumps, move them out of your way. It holds more than a grain of truth and wisdom. I think this approach is very healthy. Although Mr. Bodie, Ms. Curtis, and I may have at times been less than happy with moving the speed bumps that surrounded our school. As a metaphor for life, it's a great approach to overcoming obstacles. You've missed traditions and made new ones. One change that I hope will not become a tradition for you is social distancing. Although we all understand the need for mitigating risk, this precaution has exacerbated a trend in our society that isn't healthy. We are living through a period of increasing isolation and loneliness that began before this pandemic. Don't let that speed bump become a habit or a tradition. We need one another. You need one another. You and your community need one another. And most importantly, you and your family need one another. I want to encourage you to apply your motto to the larger community surrounding you today. Remove some speed bumps for those around you, your friends, your family, or better still, a stranger. As this summer unfolds, remember to give that extra hug, pat on the back, or expression of gratitude to the people in your life. Be safe, but let's practice social unity this summer. Take a moment every day to listen to another, to be part of their life, to offer a smile, a kind word, or a little help. These actions will help remove the speed bumps in others' lives, and their path will be eased, and so will yours. The pandemic has played an outside role in your time here at Camden Hills Regional High School. It has impacted you, and it may continue to impact you in the future. There's no easy way to quantify those impacts, but here you are, roadblocks removed, an open road in front of you with the promise of a full life. Make the most of this opportunity, class of 2021. We are all waiting for you to remake this world. Congratulations and best wishes. Thank you.
Adjusting the mic a little. Hello, my name is Baeza, and I am the 2021 Senior Class President. These last 4 years have been one wild ride. It's as though we were planning on going on the merry-go-round and ended up on the zipper. You know, the very unstable but loved ride at the Union Fair. We enter as freshmen, excited and a little scared, assuming we know what we're getting ourselves into. We definitely do not. We are assured that everything will be all right, that many others had come before us, and many others will come after, and all we have to do is work hard and apply ourselves. As the gate opens, we take our seats. The nerves kick in, but the attendant walks us through all the rules of the ride. Fasten your seatbelt, tighten the strap, keep your hands inside the compartment, and do not rock the cart. They tell us the ride is going to go by fast and to enjoy every second, but honestly, most of us are just worried about making it through. The ride begins, and with a jolt, we are into our sophomore year. We have our daily W-Jam news, and the girls' soccer team win championships yet again. The musical, Anything Goes, is as lively as ever, and we settle into our seats because everything is exactly how they promised. But then the cart flips once, then twice, and now it's really starting to get its momentum. And although this is what we feared most, it's not as scary as we thought it would be. That doesn't stop you from screaming your head off, though, and yelling things you probably shouldn't at people that are running the ride, your parents, or even your teachers. But you gain your rhythm, you find your people, and part of you is actually starting to enjoy yourself. You've learned that Susan's blueberry waffles are the best thing on the menu, and that if you want a chicken burger, you better be the first one in line. You've learned the hard way that if you're walking too slow in the hallway, you will be pushed over, and everyone has developed a third sense of when Bodie's about to catch you exiting out a side door during flex time. And then the ride stops. Our world stops. There's a haze of confusion, and worst of all, you're the cart stuck at the very top. Your friends start to feel very far away, and you wonder if the ride will ever move forward again. We're all facing different directions with views below that are daunting. But in the corner of your eye, you notice the Dumbo ride, and you remember how that used to be daunting too. It looks so small from where you are, and you wonder how you ever fit in that tiny twirling seat. Your 5-year-old self could have never conceived you sitting up here in the zipper, risking your life. And then the ride begins again, this time zipping backwards. We have to reinvent everything we just learned, change, reflect, adapt, be open to new possibilities. The fears we hold must all be faced, and the reward may be much more thrilling than we ever anticipated, even if it makes you a little nauseous along the way. Personally, it took me a long time to get on that ride. And while it may have something to do with my vertical challenges, It also probably had something to do with my fears. But I've made it on, and I've made it off, and I feel powerful. We are powerful. We must use our voices and fight for those who need help, and not take our youth for granted. And whether you've literally ridden the zipper or not, we all know something about facing and overcoming our challenges. We must overcome these challenges to follow our passions. We must continue to push ourselves to learn and grow. And please remember to fight for your short friend trying to get on that ride. Today is our first step off that ride. Here, this very moment. We've faced our fears and we've persevered. And while some of us might want to go for another spin, the choice is no longer ours because the ride is closing down. As we're all leaving, I wonder where that next ride will take each of us. I get a jitter of excitement thinking of all the places we will go and things we will do, and of hearing of everyone's endeavors 20 years from now at that class reunion. Reunions where Fiona will definitely be late, will be later. To no one's surprise, Claire will have solved climate change, and Anya will have ended fast fashion. Andi will be running special effects for the latest Star Wars movie, and Nick Braun will show up in his newest truck, the biggest one yet. Mr. Burns will be hiding from his energetic homeroom, and we will all rest assured knowing that Juliana's a star on Broadway and Kat is playing violin in Carnegie Hall. I doubt the zipper will be running 20 years from now, but there's always going to be a new favorite ride. And although life at Camden Hills Regional High School will have to manage continuing on without us, I know for certain the class of 2021 made its mark. I mean, we were on track to win Spirit Week 4 years in a row. The world screams at us to enjoy our youth and not rush through it. They tell us it's going to go by fast, and all of a sudden I blink, and a class full of unfamiliar freshmen are now bonded for life. It's hard to know when you're experiencing things for the last time, and sometimes monumental events sneak up on us. I'm so honored to have this amazing group of intelligent, resilient, and creative people standing behind me. I'm looking forward to see all the worlds we'll create 20 years from now at that class reunion and to reliving this memorable ride. Thank you. Let's give it up for the class of 2021. We did it!
To all of the teachers, staff, administrators, coaches, family members, and friends who make up our school community, thank you from the Camden Hills class of 2021. Thank you for your patience and understanding, and thank you for all of the wisdom you have passed on to us. You nurtured us when we needed it and challenged us when it counted. Thank you especially for your support over the past year, a trying time to be sure. COVID-19 has certainly presented itself as an obstacle to us all, a speed bump, perhaps we should say. Try as we might, this particular bump in the road was not so easy to move out of our way. We couldn't grab hold of it and drag it off to the side, as some members of our class may have done to the speed bumps placed around the school this year. However, I believe that community members here at Camden Hills have been able to help each other over this obstacle instead. We have been remarkably successful at continuing to teach, learn, grow, live, and connect with each other over this past year. With that in mind, I've been thinking often lately about how our school community has supported the class of 2021 throughout high school. It is the sense of belonging that we have felt and the guidance and mentorship of community members which has provided a safe environment for personal challenge and growth for our class. Ultimately, it is this community support which has enabled our class to reach so high and achieve so much. As we drive to school each morning, many of us see the same landscapes we've known since childhood. The silhouette of Mount Batty, the blueberry fields of Appleton turning red, or Lincolnville Beach on a still and foggy morning. Each day, we might drive past the Snow Bowl or Hope Orchards. Over the years, these familiar views have reminded us that this community is where we belong, where we can contribute, and where we are welcomed. This sense of belonging provided our class with a solid foundation to stand on as we moved through high school, chasing our dreams. With the comforts of knowing we belonged here, knowing we were welcomed into this school, our class set out to explore our talents and interests. We cheered as classmates flew above the stage in Mary Poppins the musical. We admired their artwork hung outside the cafeteria. Block prints, portraits, photographs all caught our eyes. Our class supported each other in our sports competitions, such as when the girls' soccer team won an incredible 4th state championship, and more recently when the hockey team secured the COVID Cup. We were amazed by the projects our classmates completed at MCST, welding or earning their firefighting certification. We found so much freedom to set our own course, to follow our interests, to determine our destinies. And yet, at the same time, we found common ground with all our classmates, no matter if their paths were different from ours. High school was a special time when students began to explore all the potential they held and began to explore their future careers, yet we were all still very connected to the place we had grown up in. Though we may have taken different classes, we were also connected to each other. To the class of 2021, for just a moment, imagine yourself in the last weeks of 8th grade, arriving at step-up night at the high school. We were all so much younger then, perhaps with braces or a different haircut, nervous but also impatient to join the high school in the fall. We filled the gym, darting between each table, advertising a club or sports team. We were excited by all the possibilities Camden Hills had to offer, giddy with the thought of all that we might accomplish. It is my hope that each member of this class can look back to that younger version of yourself and imagine just how awed they would be at how far you have come and all that you have achieved. I am amazed at everything you have accomplished, and I know that your friends and your family members are as well. Thank you.
Graduation is an incredible time. Right now, it feels like every day of our high school careers have led up to this moment, where we step into the next phase of our lives, where we show that after our 4 years of preparation, we've matured, grown, and finally have become ready for what's next. In the weeks that led up to this day, I couldn't help but think of the graduation we had 4 years ago, when we were getting ready to start here. Not all of us had the same experience, but I think we all had similar feelings. Some pride, some sense of companionship with our classmates, maybe, and, of course, a little bit of fear for what was ahead. But I think I can say that we all felt at least a bit more mature, grown up, and ready for what's next, if only for a moment, when we stepped away from middle school for good. We were wrong. Now, I know we weren't completely wrong. We figured out how to at least survive in high school pretty quickly. But if you told me that high school was exactly what you thought it would be, and you knew exactly what you were doing for all 4 years with full confidence, I think I'd just laugh. Still, we managed. Actually, we more than managed. Our days of being lost and wandering the halls looking for our classes ended quickly. We adjusted to the change of academic pace that came with high school. Eventually, we found our places in this new community of ours, and it quickly began to feel like our own. Of course, we couldn't have done this alone. On behalf of the class of 2021, I'd like to extend the greatest thanks to our mentors, our teachers, our families, and everyone else who guided us through the years leading up to now. to the people who've made us who we are, to the people who could give somebody like me the ability to stand up and give a speech in front of you all, to the people who stopped at nothing to give us the best experience here possible, even with challenges that shook the world standing in their way. Nothing I can say in the speech today can do what you've done for us justice, but I hope you know how much your actions mean to us nonetheless. Also, on behalf of myself and many others, I'm sure, I'd like to thank everyone sitting behind me. We may not have been able to make it here without our mentors, but we also couldn't have made it here without each other. The community we created together has always been there to support us and push us higher, so thank you too. Now we're graduating from high school, and to conclude it, we're having this ceremony. It's the huge day in our lives where we show how ready we've become for the next part of our lives. I mean, that's what graduation's all about. I even said that at the very beginning of the speech. It sounds like the right thing to say. And many of you probably thought I was being serious when I said those words. But I wasn't. I lied. And to be completely honest, I've never felt less prepared for tomorrow in my life. I don't know what it will bring. Funnily enough, it's like when I first walked into high school 4 years ago. I didn't really feel ready, and I was nervous. That's how I feel right now. And I think that might be how many of us feel right now, a bit nervous or even scared. Now, of course, we're feeling a lot more than that. There's a lot of excitement for what's coming next, too. We have hopes and dreams to fulfill, and are looking forward to doing that. I'm not trying to make us out to be a bunch of terrified kids who are afraid to go out into the real world, even though that's probably how I sound. That's not who we are at all. But I can't just get up here and act like there's no uncertainty at all for the future. I know I sound awfully pessimistic right now, especially for a graduation speech, but I don't think this is a bad thing. After all, how can we really feel all ready and confident about something as major and unfamiliar as this? When I asked myself this question, yet again, I thought of middle school graduation, and when I first walked into this building. That was major, and that was a lot like this. Everything I'm feeling now, I felt back then, albeit a bit less strongly. But that's familiar now, and we know what came of those worries and fears that we had 4 years ago. Everything worked out all right in the end. There were some struggles, sure, but we figured it out. I have every confidence that, like we did before, we'll figure out whatever's next, too, whatever that may be. College, a job, the military, anything else. There may be struggles, but we can do it. And if the future has you nervous, just remember the last time you felt like this and everything you've made it through since then to get here. Thank you.
what a moment of triumph. You have reached the end of what has been so far from a regular senior year. Some of you have worked diligently from home. Some of you have opted for a mix of online and in-person classes.
At least one of you has been shopping for jorts while Zooming from your phone with your camera and audio on mute from the basement of our store.
That's all brilliant, and if we've learned anything from this year, it's that taking care of ourselves and our communities is paramount.
Let's take a pause to celebrate the people who came before us, the giants whose shoulders we all stand on, the ones who have helped us get to where we are. A moment to acknowledge this place, the gathering place, Penobscot Bay, unceded homeland of the Abenaki, Penobscot, Wabanaki people, the Dawnland Confederacy.
And now let's look around and appreciate the school staff, parents, caregivers, grandparents, partners, family, friends, and BFFs. Every one of you here, and countless others who aren't, are all part of these young people's journey to becoming the graduating class of 2021. Give yourselves a round of applause. We thank you. This is so special for us because we've seen some of you go from tiny 7th graders when we opened our store to high school graduates. And if you're like me, you may not have gotten any taller since then, but most of you grew quite a lot.
And if you're like me, you never thought you'd make it here because 2 nights ago, with your parents' help, you were completing a semester's worth of homework to take care of your myriad incompletes.
We never stop being told that eventually we will be grown-ups, or that there comes a moment in our lives when we have arrived. The story is that once we have a house, a career, a partner, a family, that we can stop thinking critically about our lives and we will be satisfied.
The truth is that many of the people around you at any given time are still trying to figure out how to create meaning in their lives. We know that we are. And this moment may be the beginning of that story of adulthood for all of you. It is the first time in your lives when you start to make your own decisions about where to live and how to occupy your time or who to love.
It is tempting to make choices that further your own career at the expense of others, or stroke your ego, or fulfill someone else's expectations of who you are supposed to be. Taking care of yourself is important, but how do we take care of one another? How do we show each other, our families, our communities, and the world we live in, we are here for one another?
The way I show people I care is often through food. A journey that started between my 8th grade and freshman year at a restaurant called Rathbones in Camden. It's where Cuzzy's is now. My father had taken a job repainting the inside of it, and my 13-year-old idealistic self rollerbladed in there, into the kitchen on a June evening and asked for a snack. Sarah and Matthew, the couple that owned the restaurant, sent me out the door with a steak and roasted red potatoes and a slice of chocolate cake and an offer to be their dishwasher starting that weekend. I showed up on my rollerblades again, and I crushed it in the dish pit during that busy weekend. 2 days later, one of their line cooks quit. All of a sudden, I had a decision to make. Did I just want to be a dishwasher, spending my days in the skate park with my friends, showing up late, scrubbing pots with Rage Against the Machine in my headphones? Or did I want to be a cook, getting in early, make hollandaise, brunoise shallots, and set the boss's station for service that night? I leaned in. I didn't know how to cook, but the people I worked for cared about me, and they had faith in me, and they were willing to show me the ropes, and so I stayed. And I got screamed at, and I got thrown out of the kitchen for ruining the same pizza order 4 times in a row. And I cried in the walk-in because I thought that the world would end if I didn't do a better job, forgetting entirely that we were just serving dinner and not negotiating some peace treaty. But my skills in the kitchen improved, and I developed a real love for food. And I got a bunch of my friends jobs at that restaurant, and I graduated from the same culinary school that Matthew and Sarah attended. And when I graduated from the New England Culinary Institute, I said to myself, I'm going to become a famous chef, and I'm going to come back to this college, and I'm going to be the commencement speaker.
I care for people by helping them find clothes they love. My introduction to personal style came when I was 9 years old, when my parents took my brother and me to Paris. I packed my purple dress pants, a Gap logo sweatshirt, and 2 bucket hats, as well as my Razor scooter. As I was clattering around on the cobblestones on my Razor, I was also noticing the citizens of Paris in all their chic, individual, thoughtful clothing. I got home, announced that I wanted to become a fashion designer. I sketched dresses, I became obsessed with Project Runway, I made a collage from fashion magazines that took up one whole wall of my room. And when the time came to visit colleges, my mom and I toured Parsons, FIT, and the likes. I remember riding down an elevator at one of those schools, and I was packed in close with a group of students. And they all were just chattering about how stressed they were and how they never slept, and they all had cigarettes poised to light as soon as they left the building. And I got home from that trip, and I knew that that was not how I wanted to spend my days. Sitting inside at more desks was not appealing to me either. Hadn't I just been trapped inside schools for 14 of my 18 years? I wanted to be outside, somewhere warm, and far from the smoky angst of liberal arts colleges. So I changed my post-high school plan. And by the time I was sitting where you're all today, all I had was a deferment from college and a loose plan to go work on a farm in Hawaii. 8 months later, I was living 20 feet up in a platform of a mango tree, storing my belongings in a cooler to protect them from the geese, and making $50 a week harvesting lettuce. At your age, the stress and the constant churn of the fashion industry lost its appeal entirely. But by my early 20s, I made my way back to clothes. As I farmed and later waitressed and then taught, I saw how the garments people wear can make them feel like the truest version of themselves. When Ben came to me with the idea of opening a consignment clothing store, I was ready to be part of the industry in my own way. Deep this winter, a friend from high school texted me to say that the clothes I've given them are some of the things they feel most confident in. They're excited to wear them, when usually figuring out that sort of thing makes them super anxious. I care for those around me by finding pieces that make them feel seen and understood, that they reach for in important moments, or just to feel comfortable.
For the first few years after we opened Curator, we sought validation from glossy magazines or national newspapers. Meanwhile, we dug through mountains of other people's clothes. We used our cell phone flashlights to see into dark corners of attics, and we fought off legions of mice trying to eat trunks of treasures.
We crawled so deep into wardrobes, we stumbled into Narnia, making sure to not miss the vintage Gucci.
And over the last 5 years of moving clothes from unwanted to beloved, the desire for critical acclaim has fallen by the wayside. While we were in our store connecting with the folks that walk in, we discovered that there are other people caring for our community who want to be part of the web we are spinning.
So instead of calls from the fact checker at Vogue, we get phone calls from Joseph at the landing place, saying that they have a client who needs a new wardrobe to validate their gender identity, and could they come by to pick that out?
Or a message from a friend who's a social worker at the local high school who collects unsold clothes from us to give away each month at a free table. How good a certain student looks in a 1970s psychedelic shirt. or how the teachers love to pick through the racks after the kids have all gone home, find stuff for themselves.
Your lives will lead you places we can't possibly imagine sitting here on this chilly June evening. And most of you will change your minds at least once about how you want to spend your careers or who you want your friends to be. While I sweated under the Hawaiian sun planting rows and rows of lettuce, I did not think that 10 years later I would be perspiring in a 90-degree room going through an elderly woman's sweater collection.
She found some really good ones. And when I skated into that kitchen 23 years ago, I had no idea that I would become the person my friends rely on to do wood-roasted lambs for their 300-person Argentine-themed wedding.
We are here to encourage you to make decisions that lead to caring for others instead of making choices that lead you deeper into the tangle of consumerism, into a world that tells you profits are more important than people.
Celebrate the small moments that shape you, because they are the ones that you will reach for when your world feels gray and joyless. These past months have been hard, and like in all dark days, we have had to cling to the times that have brought us light, telling ourselves that they would all return again.
The moments that we reached for were not the days when we made the most money or found the best things, but rather the times we felt most human.
The most connected.
The middle of the night at our wedding, clutching our friends singing I Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis.
Getting a picture from three of these guys up here dressed in old overalls on their way to prom.
A loved one cooking us schnitzel and noodles when Ben got a bad concussion at soccer and could only lay on the couch in a pair of oversized sunglasses belonging to a friend's grandmother.
So I didn't become a celebrity chef.
And I didn't become a famous fashion designer. Instead, we own a used clothing store.
But last Sunday, I cooked a whole pig for 75 people that support us in their own way throughout the year.
And this week, I shipped off a vintage dress to a friend who's relearning to love her body after giving birth to a beautiful, healthy baby.
We bring all of this up only to demonstrate that success often looks so different than what we expect it to. That the moments that come to define us are often small and easy to overlook, and sometimes happen on your rollerblades.
Or razor scooters.
And all of that is fine. It's part of being a human. But being able to cook the pig for your friends, whatever that looks like in your life, to feed your community, to strengthen the bonds of love and of friendship that exist all around you, that is the real measure of success.
Every one of us has that capacity, and we get to do it every day for the rest of our lives, so we may as well start tonight.
We love you all so much.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kate Abigail Canoer. Sophia Barbara Mott.
Wait till I get to the end.
Okay. Fiona Perry Smith. Paige Frances Chester. Ava Presley, Perez, Baeza. Lydia, Adeline, Knight. Sauvage. Shealee, Ramona, Ann, Legasse. Alex, Finn, Richman. Aaron Calusian. Adela, Hudson. Maisie, Berard. Kendra and Merrill. Hannah Hollenbach. Claire Valerie Wyman. Brianna Lynn Hildings. Andi Bones Hammond. Kimberly Ann Billings. Dakota Range. Kyla Paige Taylor. Maggie May Bleemaster. Sadie Ann Emery. Mary Kate Pons. Delia Cognard. Aubrey Purse. Alexa Libby. Grady Richman. Lee Sky Cushman. Eden Zizza. Alexis Christine Hydorn. Catherine Grace Upham. Claudia Pendleton. Tiana Eleanor Marie Gordon. Nadia Tripp. Caitlin Marie Heitzman. Ocean Rancourt. Caroline Scheller Contento. Allie Johnson. Martha Aramthip. Sullivan Tibbetts. Landon Donato Stearns. Ella Kathleen Cloutier. Ruby Anna Cohen. Grace Catherine Cody. Espen Christopher Wald. Alex Ward. Henry McGeady. Shakira K. Cayuette. Brooke Irene St. Laurent. Isabella Gallus. Levi Thomas Guay. Gideon Wolf Sullivan. Reese Andrew White. Madison Small. Aiden Aviles. Gwen Madeline Matthews. Lola Liebler. Michaela Avis Tolman. Sienna Rose Murray. Sydney Milena Gilbert. Obadiah K. Miller. Noah LaChance. Cynthia Laidley Allen. Angelina Ava Mae Ray. Hannah Fisk. Freya Johansson. Madison Boach. Wilson Hunter Gray. Elijah Luce. Owen Marshall Bragg. Spencer Jamison Tooley. Elsa Tanter Chandler. Phoebe Sage Root. Milo Akiva Gaudet. Atlas Poet Valley. Lillian Ruth Nelson. Leah Doolin. Avery Madore. Devin William Smith. Lauren Elizabeth Linscott. Ethan Scott Cleveland. Hawken Cole Tolman. Tatiana Marie Munoz. Annalie Johnston Gray. Allison Peyton McDonald.
Edwin Middleton. Eric Michael Andrews. Kian Mohammadi. Juliana Olivia Day. Wyatt Louis Munson. Catherine Shea O'Brien. Abigail Diane Dodd. Julian Andrew Blome. Logan Park Patanzu. Margaret McBride Richmond. Rose Rebecca O'Brien. Alexia Johnson Kazimaju. Anya Levi Babbrot. Owen James Power. Ethan Carballo. Ethan Burgess. Zachary Bridgham Soul. Casey Joseph Messer. Alexandra Ruth Southworth. Kira Ann Griffin. Noah Cannell.
William Eli Gardner. Ian David Orsmond. Simon Charles Polk. Dylan Mackey. Samuel Moody. Oscar Walter Horvitz. Tanner James Robinson. Jason Martin LeBlond. Marley Patton. Jonathan LeVar Oaks. Owen Mitchell Pendleton. Ariana Margaret Hansen. Zachary Upham. Aaron M. Mahoney. Dylan Bain Anderson. Kyle Hicks. Nathaniel Stanley. Sylvan Eichenlob. Aniela Creek. Thomas Joseph Eager. Ruben Feldman. Ella Adelaide Williams. Benjamin Nautel. Caden Isaiah Sawyer. Gabe Ruswick. Luke Aiden Herrick. Nolan Charles Delahy. Bryler Keller Fisher. Kevin Bergelin. Matthew Brown. Aiden Lewis Schechter. Owen Lewis Markowitz. Thomas Warren Southworth. Aiden Abear. Jordan Michael Durkee. John Eager. Caleb White. Tor Magnuson Denny. Sienna Mary Montgomery. Jasper Berryman Moore. Nicholas Preston Braun. Hunter Sky Smith. Charlie Owen Griebel. Kyle Michael Dunn. Isaiah Murray Doble. Isaiah Milne Porter. Jonathan Atkins McDevitt. Emerson Marks Brott. Aiden Fenzi. Andrew Procia. Rowan Thor Hurlbert. Addison Skylar Barnhill. Blaine Cook. William Gregory Thorne. Benjamin Philip Kraft. Yona Winges. Lane Christian Cortez. Ryan Broderick O'Farrell. Sky Abaldo. Jeremy George Frazier. Jason Ross Fowler. Angus Kane Carter.
Seniors, you made it. Your decisions will truly be your own now. Listen to your hearts. The direction of your lives should come from within. As seniors in high school, you are no longer, because it's my great pleasure to present you as graduates of Camden Hills Regional High School. Congratulations, Camden Hills class of 2021.
Sophia, you're going to...
At this time, I would like to introduce the senior class president of 2022, Henry Ferris. I've been the treasurer for the class of 2021 for the past 4 years, and I've witnessed the hardships and the laughs that come with this role. From illegally selling chocolate out of the computer lab for a fundraiser, to forcing classmates to sign up for a Spirit Week activity. As you all know, we have all faced a unique challenge in the COVID-19 pandemic. Graduating in these uncertain and constantly changing times has definitely been an interesting process. On top of that, senior year in general can be daunting, between college applications and future plans. So, the senior class officers and I have some tips to offer you and your classmates. First off, you need to have money. Trust me, there's not much you can do with $20 in the bank. And although this has proven to be a struggle, the community has reached out in many different ways. And we'd like to thank the Bisbee Fund for making major donations to all the events this week. The next tip is to start the senior slideshow sooner rather than later. Just ask Alexia, it takes time. And lastly, don't take the time you have as a class for granted. Spend that time going to a Saturday night hockey game. Enjoy the stressfulness of trying to get a chicken burger in the lunch line. Commitment is key, and we all know it's every man for himself when it comes to a chicken burger. Isn't that right, Levi? Talk to someone new in the library, and always ask Miss E for a tiny sticker, even when it's not Tiny Sticker Tuesday. And don't forget to sing Happy Birthday in the cafe when it's someone's birthday, just to embarrass them. It's these small things that I'll always remember. Senior year is a blur of stress, joy, and bittersweet endings. Make the most of it, and get ahead while you can. Our class, which is the class of 2022, all the best and good luck. Hank, you'll need it.
This moment feels completely surreal and mystical. It feels like we've just finished climbing a steep mountain with the view opening up before our very eyes. It's been quite the journey since we were 3-foot-tall kids, playing tag, 4-square, 9-square, building snowmen, and settling our differences in snowball fights. And on this journey, there's been quite a change in character. Kindergarten me would have never thought that 2 of my closest friends would be the kid who chased everyone at recess, and the kid who had to share the messiest locker with me and still complains about it to this day. However, one thing that'll never change is the supportive, salt-of-the-earth community spirit of the 5 towns. It's the exact reason that a short trip to the grocery store takes half an hour, not because of traffic, but because you struck up a conversation with someone you know in the line and talked together in the parking lot for half an hour. In a community so close, the people really feel like a second family, and that's why I will never hesitate to call this home. Another thing that makes Maine is our love for the great outdoors. Whether it be skiing, dirt biking, hunting, lobstering, or snowmobiling, all our favorite pastimes come back to one thing: Mother Nature. That is exactly why, when we were 8th graders, divided by the schools we went to, we were introduced to each other in the clutches of the wilderness at Camp Kiev. Kiev was a safe place for all of us to break the ice and make new friends, be it in our team building groups or during rock, paper, scissors tournaments. In a way, Kiev was just like the 5 towns area, a safe community to live, grow, and try new things. However, the thing that was most memorable about Kiev was the rope course, where a lot of us faced our fears with the support of our friends, old and new. Here, without a doubt, is where we grew together as a class for the first time. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Every obstacle we climbed and swing we swung gave us the strength to flourish, not as kids, but as young adults. Personally, the Kiev experience gave me the confidence to always face my fears, and this confidence has been invaluable to me." In the middle of freshman year, the intercom went off in study hall, and it was announced that in a month we would be having class elections. I didn't think much of it, but when I came home, Mom told me that I should run. At first, the mere idea of giving a speech in front of the whole class sent shivers down my spine. But when I thought about it, I knew deep down that I had what it took to become VP. Fast forward a month, and after weeks of practicing my speech so much that I became tired of hearing my own voice, it was time. My nerves were shot, and under my fancy long-sleeve shirt, I was sweating bullets. Then, my name was called. I was nervous, but on the surface, I was calm and ready to drop bombs. My speech went way better than I could have ever imagined, and as you can tell, I became vice president and have held this honor all 4 years of high school. Indeed, I've learned countless lessons over the years, such as to keep your phone charged on an evening hike or your mom will call the police. And to zip up your onesie pajamas slowly. However, there is no greater lesson I learned to this day than to face my fears, because after all, I would have never become vice president if I hadn't tried. To wrap things up, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to all the teachers we've had the pleasure to learn from. Without your guidance, we wouldn't be half the class we are today. Thank you to all the families here. Every hour you worked and time you sacrificed for us, you helped to create a wonderful young adult. Thank you to all our friends for always being there for us and never sparing us a good laugh and a good time. I'd like to issue the sincerest thank you to my family for guiding and supporting me through every bump, slump, high, low, and slow point in my life. Even when I was almost put in timeout for almost burning the house down. Even when Alex would pin me on the ground and give me the claw, did I ever feel that my family wasn't there for me 110%? And most importantly, thank you to the class of 2021. We may be going our separate ways, but I know from the bottom of my heart that every single one of us will take the world by storm. As we graduate into a world that's reopening, remember this: the world is your oyster. So face your fears, follow your heart, and when life gives you speed bumps, move those suckers out of the way. Thank you.
It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce to you the class of 2021.